I have sent well over 1 million cold emails in 2025 for all of my clients to get 10 to 40 qualified sales calls per month with enterprise accounts such as Lockheed Martin, Red Bull, Toyota, and BMW. And in this video, I want to show you the cheapest but yet most effective cold email setup that I was able to find to get sales calls with these B2B decision makers. And to do that, I'm going to cover 3 things: where most people are wasting money, what my infrastructure actually looks like, and number 3, where to never cut corners, right? So you finally get a proven infrastructure that is cheap to run, built to last, and gets results. Let's get straight into it. So how do we actually cut costs without killing deliverability? Now, there is an 80-20 to everything in life, as well as for running cheap cold email campaigns, right? So a lot of people are extremely keen on doing these 20% that are just hella expensive. They don't bring you any benefits. It's complete bullshit, right? It is complete bullshit. Meanwhile, at the same time, they refuse to accept that they need to do this instead. I'm going to tell you what all of this bullshit is so you can fully avoid it, right? And then I'm going to tell you what this is so you can only keep doing that. Like only do the green part of this, not the red part, because the green part, right, takes 20% of the effort. It takes barely any effort to do this right and get 80% of the results, arguably 95% of the results, as opposed to doing the last 20% correctly, right? But pay like 5 times more and have like 5 times more work that you have to get done to actually reap the benefits, which is basically nothing compared to this, right? So we're going to cover that right now with the first point. Number 1, where people waste money. This is the red part, right? We're talking about this right now. Where people waste money. I'm just going to cover everything. Like this is going to be in depth. Bring some coffee. Buying max data depth when you only need email plus first name plus arguably industry, right? Let me put that in here. Beautiful. You don't need more than that. You genuinely don't. Like you don't need to know the school that they went to. You don't need to know what year they graduated. You don't need to know where they were, like when they started working at the new position. You don't need to know any of that. You don't. You literally do not have to know that. You don't need their personal emails on top of that. You don't need their middle name. Dude, email, first name. And if you know what, like who you're texting to roughly, like the industry, you're done. You don't need more info than that. Everyone that really like requests and makes it like a requirement to have more than just these 3 things, they want to do this, which is the next thing people waste money on. Custom AI personalized intros. If you don't know what that is, awesome. If you know what it is, please avoid, because no one cares if your AI gives them some insert AI compliment that doesn't mean shit and looks like AI. If you really think, like if you genuinely believe that this will give you a higher response rate, you're sleeping, you're dreaming. Like no one cares. Genuinely, no one cares. And I'm saying this so aggressively because I thought about wasting time on this until I guess God saved me. I don't know. I looked at the AI personalized first lines. The first, like it's like hey first name and then it's an AI icebreaker. Yeah, they call them icebreakers. I remember. As soon as I heard icebreaker as a term, I was like, this can't be real. This is a cold email. What kind of icebreakers can we possibly come up with that would increase response rates? I don't believe in that crap. I've tested a couple things like that very, very early on. It didn't work at all. It cooked my deliverability because it's obviously AI. And because it's obviously AI, people are even more likely to hit spam on you, right? They will just mark you as spam. Everything will get cooked. It just costs a fuck ton of money. Now, if you've spent money to set up this AI icebreaker, now people mark you as spam, which means you have to get more inboxes, which costs you even more money. And then you have to wait 14 days to get the new inboxes warmed up, which costs you even more money because now you have the opportunity cost of waiting 14 days. It's complete bullshit. Please, for the love of God, do not use custom AI personalized intros. No one cares. And even if there was a maybe chance to get 10% more response rates as opposed to what you're getting right now, it isn't worth it. It is so not worth it because even if this worked, it would be way too expensive to make it worthwhile, right? In this case, in the reality, like in the real world, it doesn't work, costs a lot of money, and costs you more money in the long run because you have to replace domains more often. Problem, right? Next thing, AI inbox management. Similar story. People like anything customer facing. Last time you used the chatbot, how quickly do you want to get to a human? Extremely quickly, right? You don't want to talk to the AI. You don't want to talk to the mainframe. You don't want to talk to the simulation. You don't want to talk to the architect, right? You want to talk to a human being. You just want a human being to solve your problem. You now responded to a cold email, which in itself is not a natural occurrence. It is not a natural thing. We're sending emails to people that do not know us. They may have the pain point we can solve, yes, but it is a very vastly different situation as opposed to like texting someone that you actually know, right? And because of that, any given moment where someone responds to a cold email, something out of the norm happened, something unnatural happened. And if that happens, you shouldn't fumble it with an AI talking to that guy or talking to that girl, right? You shouldn't do that. It will just ruin your booking rates because no one likes to talk to AI. It is blatantly obvious nowadays what AI text looks like. And it always has an M dash and it always says it's not this, it's that, right? It's every single time. Do not use AI inbox managers. Just have AI categorize the responses, right? Just analyzing data. That's what AI is for, right? Analyze the data, analyze the responses that come in, mark them as interested, not interested, bad timing, do not contact, out of office, right? Mark them and then have a human being with proper templates respond to these people within 5 minutes. That's what you need to do. I'm getting ahead of myself, but do not use this for the love of God. Also, it's expensive as well. Like on top of that, it's still like again, it doesn't work. It is expensive. People will mark you as spam, which will cost you more in the long run. Same thing as the AI personalized intro. So avoid, right? Avoid all of these. Inbox health monitoring tools. Now, to be fair, we can calm down a little. Inbox health monitoring tools are useful at a certain level. But then again, there are, at least in my personal opinion, that like my 2 cents, this is my video, so I'll say whatever I want. In my honest opinion, you can literally avoid this because it just costs extra for no reason. And you can just use response rates. So I'm going to use an abbreviation, response rates, including out of office messages, right? So every single response that you get, you will count into the response rate. If this is higher than 1%, you're good. You're just good. And if you need to know, like, if is this specific inbox, like, is it doing well? You can just go into the response rates on that specific inbox and then check if the response rate's above 1%. If it's close to 1%, it's still probably good. If it's 0.2, it's probably bad. You could just replace it. Costs you zero money. It's very easy to find out with Smartly, instantly, email buys, and you can immediately find this out. You don't need crazy inbox health monitoring tools. So just unnecessary cost, right? Doesn't help you. It literally doesn't help you. You have to replace the inbox anyway, so you might as well save on cost for this monitoring tool and just get more inboxes and replace old one. Done. Next one, storing data. Now, what does this mean? I'm talking about when you accumulate data sources, right? You scrape this data source, you get Listkit leads, you get Apollo leads, you scrape something from LinkedIn or from Google, right? Google Maps. You do all of these things and you want to store them. And you have a fuck ton of data, and a fuck ton of data in my world is like you have more than 100 million people in your database, right? If you have that, at some point, storing data is going to be extremely annoying. It's going to be extremely annoying and you're going to be very inclined to finding a crazy online cloud-based SQL-based crazy database that you want to use to store all of that data, right? And it sounds intelligent at first. It sounds like you're doing like operational work, but honestly, what I found to be extremely simple and very worthwhile is just like have Google Drive folders and then separate the big CSV with all the data just into multiple smaller ones based on country, based on city, whatever. And then you can literally give the sitemap of all of that to an AI so that whenever you have a new campaign coming up, like for me personally, it would be a new client, right? I would say, well, this is the website of the client, this is the offer, this is the service, this is the USP, this is the niche that they want to go for, and then the AI would tell me like, okay, like you can find this data already. You already have this data. It's in this folder. You just have to like get the CSV out of there, and then it's done, right? You could actually do that. Like you could save a bunch of money on storing data just by using Google Drive folders. And then also your team can access it easily. Very nice. Can recommend. Waterfall / triple verification on emails. So we're talking about just checking whether an email is verified or not, right? And in general, you should always verify your emails, right? You should always verify the emails that you're sending emails to, the email addresses that you're sending emails to. If you don't, your bounce rate will go up. And if your bounce rate goes up, your domains will burn away. And then you will have to pay a bunch of money again and wait 14 days to get new domains, right? But caveat, I say avoid triple verification or waterfall verification, where you use multiple verification tools back to back to then find out if it's really valid. Waste of time. I've probably tested dozens of verification tools now. Must be. I've tested so many. The best one that I found, and I'll show my tech stack in a second as well. It's like probably one of the links in the description, right? Check those out. But I'll link use bouncer, right? Use bouncer. I'll just put an abbreviation. Use bouncer. It's so nice because it gets the safe to send emails and then it's done. And that leads me to the second point. It will not verify your catch-alls. It will not. And what is a catch-all? It's basically all the email addresses where we can't really prove whether it actually exists or not, right? That's just the simple terms. Catch-alls will always be a thing. And I don't see the point in emailing catch-alls. Sure, if you're targeting like a very, very, very tiny like subsect of B2B decision makers that like we only have 120 of them on Earth, then obviously I would try to email all the catch-alls as well. But if you're reaching out to lists that are bigger than 120 prospects, you don't need to verify catch-all. One, there's no real reliable way of verifying catch-alls. And number two, it is just hella more expensive for just a little bit more effectiveness, right? If effectiveness, I think that's a word. But in general, just avoid both. I don't see the point, especially if your TAM is large enough. Just get the emails that are valid, have a proper offer, and then do whatever you have to do, right? And that's the actual second point that we're going to get into now, which is, let me grab something from my notes and then put it in here because this is going to be cool. We're going to talk about number 2 right now, which is, just made a mistake. Bam. So I never make mistakes. So number 2, the actual infrastructure I use to land in the inbox and book these meetings with these B2B decision makers. And the core principle behind all of this is deliverability comes from doing the basics right, right? And the basics, if we scroll back, these are the basics. And the difference between an amateur and a professional in this realm is literally the amateur never does the basics right, and the professional always does them right, even at scale, right? That's literally what it is. Which is why I absolutely hate the living fuck out of this last 20% that people are trying to promote on LinkedIn, on YouTube, whatever. I can't stand it, man. Because I've wasted so much time on this bullshit. I genuinely have a personal problem with this, right? I hate it. Yes. So let's get back into point number 2. Inboxes. Where do you get your inboxes? Very simple stuff. I use scaled mail. Now, if this is an older video it might not be scaled mail. It might be some other tool, right? The general gist of what you're trying to do is you always want to have .com domains, always want to have proper DNS records, right? You always want to have fresh inboxes with a 14-day warm-up period. Depending on the provider, they will tell you exactly what those numbers are for the warm-up. Generally speaking, you want to keep it extremely simple. This is simple, right? This is simple. You want to deactivate, if you use Smartlead, the auto adjust feature. Don't touch the randomizer, right? You want to have very moderate, like 12 to 15, at max 20, if you're like prepared to burn inboxes at a faster rate, right? Emails per day, max per inbox. You want to ramp it up gradually over the first week. Never jump to max speed straight, right? And then if you need more volume, you just buy more domains and you don't push inbox limits, except you're prepared to actually burn them away because you're like, I have to replace them. Sorry, I have to replace them anyway. Let me burn them away, right? That's fine. If you do all of these things, you will get a domain lifespan of roughly 3 months. That's what I've been getting. I've been getting like 3 to 5 months now. And if you refresh 5 to 10% of the domain count monthly or every 2 months, you should be plenty fine, right? This is how you go about inboxes. Good. Let's move on. Clean lists. Data, I use Listkit sometimes if I don't already have the data. Otherwise, I get it from third-party databases plus Find Email, Lead Magic, or any mail finder. Meaning, I get their first name or their full name, right? Should have just used abbreviation. Full name plus their company, right? I get their full name plus company, and then I put them into one of these tools, and then these tools give me their email addresses. As soon as I have the email addresses, no matter if the platform already says it's triple verified, I always verify my emails because it is the basics. I don't trust anyone else but myself to verify my email addresses. So I will verify my email addresses. I don't care if anyone says that they have already triple verified my email addresses. I do not care. I still verify my email addresses using Use Bouncer because for now, like this is the best verification tool that I've used ever in my life, and I've been using it for quite a while now. So I assume that this will stick. And if you see the monkey on their website, you will agree. Goated. So nice. You set the toxicity levels to 0. You only download the save to send ones. And this is actually wrong. Where you verify after this is wrongly formatted. Ignore this. If you notice that you're like after sending 500 emails to 500 prospects, that the bounce rate is above 3%, you should definitely re-verify with something else. But this will never happen. This never happened to me with Use Bouncer, which is why I use it, right? So let's move on. Sequencing, smartly or instantly, very basic stuff. The thing is, I currently don't use these anymore. I use it for a couple of clients here and there because they like rebuilt the infrastructure within their company, which is fine. Like they want to use Smartlead or instantly, that's fine. What I use is Email Bison. The thing with Smartlead that I found, or I don't use instantly that much, but I like specifically use Smartlead a lot. The thing that I found out is now this is not a shot against them. I'm just like reporting. But whenever I created a new account on a new client on Smartlead, I don't know why, but we got like I did all the things that worked perfectly fine before. I add the inboxes to Smartlead. I start the campaign, and the campaign that usually works extremely well because we already have ran campaigns in that industry, they don't work anymore. Like not at all. We don't get any responses back, which is a terrible sign because it basically means we're not landing in the primary inbox. I don't know if they put us on weird servers. I don't get it. Because with my old like aged accounts, I get crazy good results. Like I get the actual results that I should be getting, right? So this is weird, which is why I switched to Email Bison altogether because it's completely privatized. But generally speaking, this should work. Either one of those should work. Maybe try instantly. I don't know, but try it out. On sequencing, you use spin tags on every single element, right? You never set the same exact script to thousands of people at all. Like every single script that you're sending out, obviously, like not literally, but there should be a lot of variance in the emails that you're sending out. You run A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like A to Z, basically. Split tests simultaneously, and you have to absolutely blast. And again, this is the comment that I just made. It's almost like you have to expect with especially smart leads. It feels like it's smart leads issue. You almost have to earn your right to proper deliverability on these platforms because they now introduce some like you only get access to premium warm-up pools if you have minimum reply rates, you have at least this many Gmail and Outlook inboxes. They make it like a qualification thing. I get it. I fully get it. Most people can't cold email for shit. Like they just can't do it. They're just lacking the skill. So it makes a lot of sense to like gatekeep the proper warm-up pools, etc. But if you're prepared to do that, you should definitely use them. Like Smartly works well, Instantly works well. Earn your right to proper deliverability. Text with the support team. Tell them about what you have to do or what you want to do, right? And they maybe could get you on the proper warm-up pools, right? So this is the main idea behind the infrastructure that we use to land in the inbox. And you will see that this is incredibly simple. Like this is comically simple, right? And now I want to get to point number 3, which are the non-negotiables where you never ever can cheap out ever, right? So, number one, sending behavior. You never want to have volume spikes ever, right? Ever, ever, ever. You don't want to have that. What you want to do is always like no matter if you're starting to send with new inboxes, you want to ramp it up slowly, right? Ramp it up slowly. And when you want to stop, you ramp it down slowly. You want to have very human behavior. Everything should be very smooth, right? You always want to send plain text never HTML or any links. You want to remove all the spam triggers using mail media or spam keyword checker. And in terms of inbox health, if in Smart Lead, for example, if you see that any given inbox pushes down or has less than 100% health from the warm-up pool, you want to remove them from the campaigns by just setting the email per day, like the cold emails per day, to 1. You want to keep warm-up as is, but you want to pull down all the cold emails immediately to 1, right? In general, that's like in terms of sending behavior. In terms of offer and targeting, now this is probably arguably the biggest point. Like biggest point, very big point. No matter what you do, if you have a bad offer, you will get spam complaints, and spam complaints will get you into spam. That's as simple as it is. If you don't know how to generate offers for your cold email scripts, feel free to check out my other videos. I'll link the fitting one in the top right corner somewhere, right? But in general, you want to have a proper offer because proper offer get proper results, and proper results are responses, and that could be both positive and negative. As long as people are interacting with you, it's a good sign. So get people to interact with you. This is a very important point, by the way. Like, get people to interact with you means get either a yes or a no. Make it easy for someone to say yes or no to your email. This is extremely important. Also, the basics, very important. Check out the video that I just linked because I have a video in mind. Good targeting reduces cost per positive reply more than any tool. If you have an accurate list that is clean, you will fix probably 95% of your problem. These two things will fix 95% of all of your problems. Easily. Easily. It's not even close. Like, there's no other thing that will have such crazy effects on your cost per positive reply than these two things. No other thing. No inbox health monitoring, no AI icebreaker, no AI inbox manager, no smart agent, no reporting tool, no whatever, right? There's nothing else that would have such an effect on your economics, such as these two things, or like these two things. Very important. So, how do you actually know if it's working, right? You will only track your response rates. As I've said, you will track all response rates, including the ones that are out of office. So, if holiday comes around and everyone is like, should we like, or on LinkedIn, you're on LinkedIn, holiday comes around, right? It's Thanksgiving, it's Christmas, it is New Year's, it is Valentine's Day, it is something, right? And people are like, it is Valentine's Day. This is why you should uh, stop your cold email campaigns, or how Christmas taught me to stop my cold email campaigns. Whatever. Like they have their LinkedIn AI post, right? Whenever you read that, you keep blasting because you do the basics right. You will use the holiday to see how many out of office responses you get. If you get a lot of them, your infrastructure is healthy. If you don't get any of them, your infrastructure is cooked. Holidays are perfect to get an indication of how your infrastructure is doing so that you can then use the holiday time to quickly replace inboxes. Right? That's how you're going to use the holidays. You're not going to just stop your campaigns. We don't stop campaigns. My campaigns are running 365 days a year. We don't stop campaigns. We don't do that. This is not a thing. Stopping campaigns is absolutely, if you look at the normal distribution of people, right? If this is the IQ on the x-axis and this is the amount of people n on the y-axis, these people between 60 and 75 IQ, these are the guys that are, it's actually way more than that. Unfortunately, it's 75 to 100 or something. But these are like the midwits of this planet are stopping campaigns. Do not stop campaigns. For the love of God, do not stop campaigns. Use holidays. So you want to maintain a minimum 1% response rate. If you struggle to get this, you have a couple things to fix, right? It could be your actual email script. It could be spam keywords in your email script. It could be the offer. It could be your targeting. It could be the health of your inboxes. It could be the accuracy of your, I think I said that, your lists, right? You get the gist. There are a couple things you can fix. Work on them. So once established, automated placement tests every Sunday to US professional inboxes. This is what you can do with Smart Lead because it's free. If you have very few inboxes in general, you can run automated placement tests because it's essentially for free. I don't do this anymore because I use Email Bison, so I don't really need to do this. This is a roughly like this is how you could also know how it works. I've heard, like I haven't used this for a long time, so I would probably tell you to not use it as well. I've heard that these placement tests are BS. That's what I've heard from the circles, right? So maybe avoid. I don't think this will make a huge difference for you, right? So what I want to tell you is just check response rate. With all of that said, right, I've essentially covered where people waste money, how your infrastructure has to look like to land in the primary inbox, right? You need multiple inboxes. You set up the inboxes as you've learned in my other videos. It's just like one domain, maximum 2 to 3 inboxes per domain. You get multiple domains. If this video is recent, you can happily use scaled mail, right? I'll also link them down below. Awesome company, awesome customer support. I really like them. You get clean lists. You get your sequencing right? You use a sequencer that actually works. If you have access to Email Bison, good for you, do it. And we've covered the non-negotiables where you can never cheap out, right? You will always want to send. You will always want to have a proper offer and targeting. You will always want to emulate human sending behavior. And this is what's going to get you into the primary inbox. If this sounds comically simple, it should be a sign that it actually is true. This is literally what I'm doing at scale. And like running scale is difficult in itself, right? It is going to be harder because you have to manage more stuff and like things happen more quickly, right? But that's also the reason why this is so nice because it's just way simpler than this bullshit. I can't even fathom how stressful life must be if you always have to like prompt around with AI because AI is doing something that you don't want it to do and then nothing works and then your clients wait on results and like everything costs more. All of a sudden all of your domains are burned. It's just annoying as hell. Do the basics right. And by the way, if you want us to do the basics right for you on a pay per showed call basis, you only pay per showed and qualified call, right? If you want us to do that for you, not worry about tech setup, tech fees, whatever. You just want to have the email infrastructure of an enterprise company using Email Bison. You have the best clean lists, you have the best inboxes, right? And you have the best people looking at your campaigns at all times to get you sales calls booked onto your calendars with your own dedicated SDRs that call these people up. If you want that, it's the first link in the description, right? You can check that out. Otherwise, I'll close it off right here. I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye. Hey, I have a free gift for you. So if you want 5,000 free prospects from your ideal customer profile, you need to keep watching because we have access to the best, most luxurious databases out there. Not some Apollo basic stuff, right? I want to gift you 5,000 of your ideal customer profile with emails and phone numbers for free as a way of saying thank you for watching these videos and supporting the channel, right? Now, to get your personalized list, you need to go into the description, find the link where it says 5,000 leads for free, right? Click the link, fill out the form, so that our team gets your form submission and then prepares your list. Now, with that list, we want to have an additional thing that we want to give you, which is our internal AI that we use for writing first drafts of our cold emails. Now, that AI is trained on our best winning scripts after having sent out millions of cold emails. You will get access to that. You will get the prospect list so that you can then send out emails to your ICP with the perfect script. Now, if the third thing is still challenging you, right, you'll find the next steps in the document that we'll send you as well, so you can get onto your merry way of getting leads from cold email. Now, with that said, back to the video.